back to Elevation 44. It's your girl B. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, family. Today we are getting all into the Libra full moon, and this is the first full moon of the new solar cycle. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, or who are just new to astrology in general, we just celebrated the spring equinox on March 20th, and that is timed with the start of Aries season. And Aries is the first zodiac sign, which means it kicks off the new solar cycle, okay? So a lot of people have been programmed to think that, you know, the new year starts on January 1st, which ties with the calendar year. But if you follow more traditional forms of, you know, like astrology or some of like the ancient calendars and stuff like that, you will see that the new year always started off with the start of the spring season. Either, you know, the Aries, sun moving into the Aries constellation, or with the first new moon moving into Aries, okay? So this is really about new beginnings. It's about just starting off a whole new cycle, as Aries is first and Pisces is last in the whole zodiac lineup, okay? So this Libra full moon is great because it's going to be the first one in the new cycle, and it is helping us bring in a lot of balance because that's what Libra energy is all about. But this full moon is also happening at 8 degrees, and in numerology, 8 signifies balance. If you take an 8 and you lay it on its side, you'll see that it is the shape of the infinity symbol. And that symbol structurally has a lot of balance and symbolically has a lot of balance as well. It also signifies abundance. It also signifies power or strength. There's just a lot of mastery that comes with the number 8, okay? So if you haven't studied numerology, I'm not a numerologist, but you know, I like to tie some of the stuff that I know into these videos to kind of give you a comprehensive view of everything, okay? So you definitely want to look into some numerology because it does tie into the astrology piece and everything works together. But really fast, I will say that this full moon is happening on Sunday, March 28th. It's happening at 8 degrees, like I said, and it's also happening at 2:48 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in another time zone, please go on ahead and translate that to your local time zone, okay? So the emphasis of this particular full moon is all about balancing our personal relationships. This is balancing, you know, with fairness, harmony, peace. It's ushering in that type of energy. And why our personal relationships? Because Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venusian energy is all about our relationships, okay? It's the masculine expression of Venusian energy, which is outwardly projected, which means it's our relations with others, okay? The other emphasis is, again, celebrating those new beginnings, because this is the start of the new solar cycle and how things will, you know, pretty much roll out for the next 12 months, the next year, right? This is the start of that. So it's a time to kind of celebrate the closing of that old cycle and everything that was brought in and everything that you learned in that, and now moving forward to new beginnings. And then also, this is a great time for us to see the culmination or the result of the intentions that we set at the Libra new moon 6 months ago. Now, if you're new to working with moon energy, I will say that the new moon is a time for planting your seeds or your intentions, right? And then 6 months later, at the corresponding full moon, you should see the results of whatever intentions that you set during that new moon. So for those of you who have been with us for a while, has been in the family for a while and been following these videos, that Libra new moon, you want to look back and see what kind of intentions or seeds you planted during that time and see what the results of that are during this time. You should be able to see your crops, okay? They should be fully bloomed by this time. So that is something that you also want to go back and look for. During that Libra new moon in October, we really focused a lot on balance, especially setting intentions around balance within ourselves, within our relationships, and balance between our masculine and feminine energies, which we all have, right? So that was really what the emphasis was on that full moon. I mean, new moon. I kind of want to say full moon and new moon interchangeably, okay? So sorry, that new moon, we focused a lot on that. So this full moon, you should be able to see kind of like some of the tangible results of what intentions you set around that work then, okay? So let's get into a couple of the facts about this Libra full moon. First, the element is air. The quality or mode is cardinal, which means it is an initiator, it's a starter. The planet that is ruling over Libra energy is Venus, which I explained earlier, and this is the more masculine expression of Venus's energy. The other expression of Venus's energy is Taurus, and that's more of the feminine expression of that energy, okay? So with the masculine expression of Venus, it's very outwardly projected, okay? And if you want to understand a little bit more about Venus energy, I had actually just done about a month ago some videos diving into Venus through all the particular signs. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that down below so that you can check that out, okay? The house that it is ruling over on the chart is the 7th house, which is the house of relationships. Both are intimate, are intimate relationships, but also our business relationships, okay? And the polarity that is associated with Libra is Aries, because it sits directly across from Libra on the chart, and Aries is all about focusing on the self, and Libra then is also focused on the opposite side of on others, right? So it's a balance between self and others, and that's how those polarities work, okay? So some of the gifts are social, diplomatic, peacemaker, artistic or aesthetic, balanced, fair, peaceful, graceful. Some of the challenges with this energy: people pleasing, poor boundaries, ungrounded, can be shallow at times, codependent, and indecisive, okay? So what is the focus, or like the best way to use this energy? The best way to work with the Libra full moon is definitely about bringing in balance in your relationships, like we discussed before, because we are, you know, constantly, not only are we constantly trying to find that balance within, but in terms of our own needs versus, you know, the needs of the people around us, we are always trying to find an equilibrium between that, okay? Aries season is interesting in the sense that Aries is really focused a lot on the self. It's very self-focused. It's, you know, Aries rules over the 1st house on the chart. And so this house is really focused on your own personal goals, your agenda, the way you project yourself in the world. It's about you. And when you are focused on yourself and you have this heavy Aries energy, which is really helping you focus on yourself and focus on your goals and your desires and your needs and your wants and everything like that, it also is good to have the other focus, which is on the others, to bring in that balance. And that's why this Libra full moon happens during Aries season while the sun is transiting through Aries, to give us that balance, okay? So we definitely want to bring a lot of balance into our relationships and heal a lot of those imbalances if they still exist, okay? Then we also have this as a great time for socializing, okay? This is great attraction energy or magnetizing energy. And the reason why is because we have some transits with Venus in particular and this moon that are going to help bring that in. So, you know, your confidence is higher during Aries season. You're more sociable. You want to get out there. Libra is also a very sociable energy. So it's just your confidence is higher, it's strong. It's good about magnetizing, attracting the things, the people, the things that you want in your life, right? So this is a great socializing energy, okay? And then I will also mention that even though those things, those two things, working with those two things will be helpful, the socializing, the balancing of the relationships, it's very easy to overindulge, to go overboard, because Aries is very self-serving and we're in the middle of Aries season. And Libra is also very indulgent in a lot of ways as well. So it's very easy to go overboard, to overindulge, to overspend, to overeat, to overdo a lot of things. So again, using this Libra energy to bring in that balance for your own self is going to be vital, okay? So let's talk about some of the transits, and we're going to be talking about the transits that the moon is making with the other planets, like some of the aspects they're making with the other planets, because we can't talk about everything or we'll be here for a long time. If you are interested in learning about all the other planetary transits during this full moon or during Aries season in general, I have the Aries season video. I'm going to drop that again in the description down below so that you can check that out to kind of get a lay of the land of what's going on during this entire season, okay? So let's get into the first one. We have moon opposite Venus, okay? Now the moon, again, is in Libra, which represents our internal needs. And then we also have, Venus, which is in Aries. Now, again, if you watch that Venus video and you go check that out, you'll see how I talk about Venus in Aries. It's very, it's one of those energies that's just outgoing. It is adventurous. It wants what it wants. It likes the chase, and it just doesn't like to be bored, just likes to stay on its toes, but is very self-serving, okay? And this particular conflict that is happening between the moon and Venus being opposite each other is really putting a highlight on the fulfillment of our selfish desires versus the emotional needs of others, and finding a balance in between that, okay? It's really time to consider the other person and their needs and what they, outside of self. It's literally what we're trying to do is just not necessarily focus. It's like, yes, you do need to be self-serving to a certain degree. You do need to focus on yourself to a certain degree, but it's also about a delicate balance of honoring and recognizing and registering the needs of the other person, okay? So if there are imbalances, this is great for repairing and bringing harmony and balancing and compromise, that's the key word, compromising in your relationships. This is also a wonderful transit for reinventing yourself, because again, Aries is really about the self, and this is a great energy for reinventing yourself. And I will say, watch for your overspending, watch for overeating, watch for going overboard, because Venus in Aries, like I said, that Aries energy wants what it wants when it wants it. And that Libra energy is very all about the beauty and the aesthetics, and wants to, just wants to be be surrounded by beautiful things and luxury items and different things like that. So, that combination of that, that conflict can definitely lead you to go overboard in that way, okay? So then the next transit that we have happening is that the moon is going to be trining Saturn in Aquarius, okay? And Saturn is really about our responsibility. It's about our limitations. It's about time. It's about restrictions. This energy is literally helping us. And the trine, again, between the moon and Saturn is really a harmonious exchange of energy, okay? So this is like energy that's very complementary with each other. So what it's helping to bring in is an emotional maturity, okay? So this is giving us extra patience and helping us resolve those relationship issues, those imbalances, those things that need healing, and where we need to, fine tune and bring it to equilibrium. This is going to help us have that extra maturity and patience to tackle that, because again, with a lot of these other planets that are going to be in Aries at the time of this full moon, it can lead us to be very hot-headed, very immature, very just dismissal, and we're gonna need this energy to help balance some of that out, okay? This is also great for high productivity, because Saturn is also that work energy. It's how we work, our responsibility, and what we contribute. So this is a great time for high productivity. So, putting a lot of these plans into motion and getting things off the ground, getting things started, this is a great time to use this energy to do that. So then next up we have the moon trining Mars, and Mars is currently in Gemini. Now this trine again is harmonious exchange of energy, which is beautiful. So this is going to help us with our confidence. We're going to be feeling highly confident, charismatic, social. We're going to have a lot of upbeat energy. So this is great for just getting a lot of physical activity done, just kind of getting more physically active. So if you wanted to, you know, put a new exercise routine into play, if you wanted to try something new, this is like a lot of times where you can just burn off a lot of that energy. Okay, this is great again for initiating new projects, relationships, and stepping into leadership roles. So this is just, I mean, this is great energy. There's a lot of good energy coming in with this Libra full moon. This is also, I'm not gonna lie, this is also another transit that lends itself to spending money, okay? Because our desires are constantly changing, and we're, you know, that Aries energy lets us see the next thing, and we're like, I want that, and I want that, and I think that's great, and I think that's great, and we're on to the next one really, really quickly. But we're also doing that with Gemini, okay? Because Mars in Gemini is very finicky. It's very just constantly moving and changing, and doesn't want to be like, it's just, it can, you know what I mean? It's just a very finicky energy, and just kind of scattered, and kind of wants a bunch of different things. And so us wanting to fulfill all those different desires can lead to overspending. So that's another thing we want to watch for here. And the last transit we're going to talk about is the moon in conjunct Uranus and Taurus, and an in conjunction, also known as a quincunx. I can never know if I'm saying that right, but this in conjunction really just means that the planets have different agendas, okay? They just have two different things that they want to do, and it's not necessarily in line with each other, okay? So what this in conjunction is, and highlighting in particular, and Uranus is really about our freedom, okay? It's about originality, it's about progression, it's about change. Our moods and emotions, because the moon is really tied to our inner needs and our emotions and our intuition, our moods and our emotions can be in constant state of flux, okay? So we can be feeling kind of irritable under this transit, and we can sense odd behavior in other people or tension, and we can pick up that. We can also have strange sleeping habits or eating habits during this time. And there is a whole like need or general want or desire for new changes and excitement, okay? So this can lead to impulsive decisions. This can lead to just kind of a general disruption, again, because that we gotta bring it back to this Aries season. Aries season, this full moon is happening in Aries season, and Aries season can lead to a lot of impulsive and a lot of impatience and a lot of that type of thing. So just kind of watch for that during this time. Okay, some of the herbs that we can work with during this time are flowers. I'm gonna just recommend flowers because these are feminine, they're relaxing, they're balancing. So you can work with all types of flowers under the Libra full moon. Some of the ones that I like to work with under this full moon that are really tied to that Venusian energy are rose, hibiscus, lilac, passion flower, violet. I mean, there's so many, but those are just a few to get you started. Some of the crystals that you can work with this energy are also about balance, love, communication, okay? Because we're talking about bringing balance and speaking and bringing our relationships into a better harmony. We're talking about rose quartz. Pink opal is also a good crystal to use. Lapis lazuli, open up that throat chakra, okay, so that you can speak and communicate. And ametrine, okay, so this is great for giving you a balance or a blending of the feminine and masculine energy. All right, and then I will also mention, in addition to the herbs, if you have the Libra moon tea, you want to go ahead and use that as well. I will link that down in the description box for anybody who is interested in purchasing that, okay? Now let's get into the rituals. So the first ritual that we have is really all about celebration. The full moon is a great time to celebrate, to give thanks, to just be grateful to your ancestors, to the earth, to spirit, to your higher self, for everything that has been coming in. It's a time of just blessings and counting the blessings. So as we're in this new cycle and we're kicking off this new cycle, let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate what we are getting excited to do over the next year. Let's celebrate the wrap of the last cycle, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Everything that we learned during that cycle, everything that we were able to bring in or manifest. And you know, this is a great time to honor your ancestors for their help during this time, or whatever deities you're working with, or just yourself. And you know, burn that ancestor money, go outside and make you a nice little, I don't know, bonfire with surrounded by flowers and nature, and have a feast. Just celebrate, have fun, enjoy. So just like we celebrate the new year, you know, on New Year's Eve of the calendar year, let's go on ahead and do that for this, you know what I mean, as well, because then we have that Aries new moon coming behind us, and that's going to be where we set our intentions for the start of this new cycle. This is where we start really putting stuff into motion to manifest in this new cycle. So celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And I don't want to give you specific guidelines on how to celebrate, because I want you to celebrate how it feels good to you, you know, what you feel intuitively called to do with this energy, okay? So I'm going to mention that. That's the first one. The second one, we've been talking about this relationship and the balance. So this is a time for you to set some healing or do some healing around your relationships, whether it be through candle magic, whether it be through, you know, some other form of ritual, reaching out to people, like doing a group meditation, or doing you know what I mean, something where you're connecting with another person. So this is a great time to do rituals where you connect with others, where you heal those relationships, where you go into meditation, however you feel called to bring healing into, you know, your relationships, or to even to yourself, healing internally and balancing that stuff out. This is a great time for you to do a ritual around that. And then the third, or the last ritual that I'm going to mention, is definitely tied to beauty, okay? Because again, Libra is ruled by Venus, and the Venusian energy of this Libra expression is very outwardly projected. So it's all about the aesthetics, it's all about beauty, and Libra actually rules over the organ of the skin. And so this is a great time for you to do beauty rituals, whether it be, you know, you're like a mud mask, whether it be putting yourself in a bath with all these oils or whatever, whether it be rubbing on your skin, getting a massage, doing something to treat your skin, to even just treat yourself. It doesn't even necessarily have to be skin based, but something beauty related, something aesthetic, something that makes you feel good, whether it, you know, be doing something to your hair, to your nails, to your skin. And you know, that is a really good way to celebrate or to relish in this Libra full moon. Like, you can bask under the moonlight if you don't have clouds. I'm hoping we don't have cloud coverage for this Libra full moon, but you know, bask in the moonlight, you know, do something outside, do something, you know, that makes you feel good, something that's beauty related, aesthetic, yet even can be creating something beautiful. It doesn't even necessarily have to be treating yourself and doing something to yourself specifically, but you can do something like art, or make something, or create something, or some food, or something that just brings you that sense of aesthetic pleasure and beauty, and celebrating that, okay? So those are the rituals I have for you. I know that I was like a little bit on the shorter end, but to me, this is really a full moon that is about a time of celebration. And so I really want to focus more on the celebration piece, because we're so busy trying to manifest and trying to call new things in. We never really take a lot of time to sit back and just relish and celebrate and enjoy and be at peace and be happy for, you know, what we've been able to do and what's come in so far. So we really want you to take some time to honor that a little bit, okay? So that is all that I have for you today. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that, you know, you're able to take this and just really capitalize on that peaceful vibe, that harmony, that balance, that socialization. Get out there, socialize, you know, just have some good vibes flowing with this full moon. If you are Libra gang, hit me down in the comments below. Shout yourselves out. What are your Libra placements? I have Saturn and Pluto in Libra. Okay, so I am all about this Libra energy, especially being Saturn dominant. So that Libra energy is definitely something that I feel personally, and I love Libra energy. I also would love to hear from you. If you don't have any Libra placements, what house does Libra rule for you on your chart? And I really hope you have a great time celebrating and just relishing in this Libra full moon energy. I will see you all for the Aries new moon, which is next. And happy full moon, happy celebration. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.